What has it been like raising my kids here in Germany? Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the Life in Germany channel. My name is Jenna and I am a Canadian who has been living here in Germany since 2014. If you know me already, you might be following me over in the community section on YouTube or on Instagram. And I posted a question the other day asking you guys to ask me whatever questions you might have. And one of those questions, I thought, okay, this really needs its own video. As a Canadian, has it been hard to raise your kids so far away from your parents and your siblings, and what helps you flourish here in Germany? I have some really good tips if you are like me and you're thinking about raising your children here in Germany, or perhaps you're already doing so and you just want to be able to connect to another parent who understands what you're going through. So the easy answer is yes. It is definitely challenging raising your children in another country away from the rest of your family. That is a given. But I want to share a bit of my personal experiences with you because I don't think I would ever move back to Canada with my children for a number of reasons, but that doesn't mean that I don't struggle. If you've been watching me on this YouTube channel for a while now, you've already met my family over in Canada. They are amazing. We are crazy. We still have like family cuddle sessions on my mom's bed when we all manage to come home and be together. We just like pile on our bed and have a big family snuggle. To a German, that might sound super strange, but to me, this is comfort. This is home. This is my family, and we have so much love for one another, and we share the wackiest, craziest stories that you probably wouldn't share with anybody else. I just love my family, and that makes it that much more difficult to be away from them. But the hardest thing for me is actually looking at the other side of the picture. Why are you away from them, Jenna? You know, why are you keeping your children away from your Canadian family? This grief that I experience, that I go through every single day, it does actually have a title. It is called expat grief. I have talked about it in a YouTube video before with you guys when my Oma had passed away back in Canada and I wasn't able to make her funeral. This grief, this expat grief, you basically blame yourself for. I blame myself for my kids not being able to spend enough time with their family back in Canada. I blame myself if anything were to happen to my family, I would have missed out on all of those opportunities to create incredible memories with them. And as much as I know how important it is to understand this grief and accept it and move on with it, it is difficult. I don't think it's ever gonna go away unless I can convince my whole family to move on over here to Germany. I'm still working on my mom though. There's also the common struggles like not having enough family to fall back on when we need it. I still don't have a babysitter for my children. When it comes to having a babysitter, actually putting them to bed at night and snuggling them and reading them a book, I just really struggle with it. One time in the last 5 years, I have gone on a date with my husband in the evening. And just not being able to incorporate my family into the daily routines of my children. So I'm constantly at the playground with them, for example. This is very common in Germany, where Oma or Opa takes care of the kids rather than putting them into a daycare or a Großtagespfleger, Tagesmutter, Kinderkrippe, whatever. They're at the parks with their grandchildren. And I just sit there and I just want to cry because it is so cute, but it's also really emotional for me and really tough for me to not have my mom to be doing that with my kids because I know how badly she would love to do that. It's just making this massive move over to Germany. You guys know it's not that easy. But as I said, I do have a number of tips that have worked for me that I hope will also work for you guys as well, because raising children here in Germany is amazing. I am so thankful for all of the things that Germany offers, and that's a long list. I could build a new video on that if you guys are interested. Let me know. But here are my top tips to combating those challenges as a foreigner raising children here in Germany. First things first, it should be an obvious, but technology nowadays has been my saving grace. Being able to just call my mom in the evenings around bath time and bedtime. Sometimes she'll read my son a book through a video call. It's just that much more helpful, I guess, being so far away from her and knowing that I can still call her whenever I need to. Number 2 for my mental state is always have a plan to either have someone come to visit me here in Germany or for us to go to Canada. Right now we don't have a trip booked to Canada. We just got back from our 3-month maternity leave in Canada, which was amazing. But before I even left Canada, I already bought my mom a plane ticket over here to Germany for 3 months. So you'll be able to expect some videos from her in a couple of months. But having this motivation motivation, knowing that you're gonna see your family always helps. Number 3 would definitely be having a support system here and acknowledging that your support system back at home is not going to be to its full extent. You can't rely on these videos and these chats to be your everything and to fulfill you and your children entirely. You need a support system here so that you can go to them and you can be with them and you can occupy your time with people that you love to be around. This does take time. It is not easy to make friends in Germany. We've talked about that in another video before. The international community in Germany is huge, and depending on where you move, it might actually be quite easy to make friends. So those are some tips on how to cope. But I was asked, how do I embrace my time here in Germany, raising children here? So I do have a couple more tips for you. Living in Germany is really exciting. There are so many things to do. You get a lot more vacation time depending on where you're coming from. I'm coming from Canada, so we get a lot more vacation time, which means ample opportunity to explore. And if you don't get more vacation time than where you previously lived, well, you always have the weekend. And the great thing about Germany is that it's like this central hub to the rest of Europe. You can explore so many amazing things in Germany. We're so close to so many borders. You can explore other countries. It has been so exciting to me just knowing how much opportunity my children really do have here in Europe versus Canada to really embrace different cultures, different languages, different food, ethnicities. It's so exciting. So we really put an effort into exploring and making sure that my kids are having fun while doing so, and learning about different cultures and traditions, of course, not just in Germany, but all of Europe, but Germany specifically. We embrace the food as much as possible. My children eat Grünkohl und Bratwurst. We embrace the Gänseessenzeit here, where everybody eats goose here in Düsseldorf, and every restaurant has their own take on Gänseessen. And I've also been able to replace Canadian Thanksgiving, because nobody celebrates that here, with Erntedankfest, and this is kind of like a parade where they give thanks to the harvest. They're in their lederhosen and dunde, and then there's a big celebration afterwards. So finding these alternatives to my old routine back in Canada and being able to embrace them with my children here in Germany has been absolutely incredible. We also love to go explore little cobblestone towns and castles, and this is something that my son is really passionate about, so we do it as often as we can. And my last tip would be, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's gonna have to happen, is to learn the language. Making those friends is gonna be a lot easier, and being able to actually integrate yourself into the local community happens when you know the language. I have so many amazing friends from the Kita now, which I'm really thankful for, but we all speak in German, except for the one mom who really likes speaking in English with me, which I'm also super thankful for. But these relationships are in German. Of course, it's gonna take a little bit more time to develop these relationships because my German is not perfect. Sometimes I feel like it's word vomit just trying to explain something, but everybody's actually really nice and takes the time to sit and listen and chat with me, not because they feel bad for me, but because they actually want to be friends. So this has been an amazing feeling, and I actually finally feel accepted in the community where we're living, and I have my German language skills to thank for that. So if you haven't yet, I will share a link to all of my different learning German tips and best movies and the best books to read and everything that you could possibly imagine up here, so that you have the tools that you need to start learning. So all in all, yes, raising children in Germany can be extremely tough, but there are so many advantages to it and so many different solutions to make sure that your experience here with your family is incredible. If you're an international family living in Germany, I want to know your story too. What do you feel? What are your tips and tricks to flourishing here in Germany as a family? Vielen lieben Dank, you guys, und wie immer, bis später.